Last week, Starbucks stock nearly fell 10% after the company reported good earnings. And as someone who's a very open shareholder of Starbucks and I have a sizable position in them, I was obviously a little shocked. So far this earnings season has been the earnings season of stocks going down for absolutely no reason. So today I'm going to be going over the earnings report, re-looking over Starbucks' financials, and more. If you're new to the channel, help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by subscribing. Also, we have a huge video Saturday. I'm going to be revealing every stock in my portfolio for 2023. With that said, smash the like button and, of course, roll the intro.
I like money.
Alright, so I want to start off and talk about why I'm so bullish on Starbucks in the first place. If you've been watching the channel for a little bit, you would probably know some of the main reasons why I'm bullish on Starbucks right now. Start off, I'm a personal consumer of them, and I am guilty to say that. They have a very addictive product. I'll just say that. Caffeine is a very addictive drug, and it leads to a reoccurring consumer, which is one of the qualities that I look for in a business. They have amazing brand value, a great logo, in my opinion, that is reoccurring, that has a reoccurring place in consumers' minds. When you go to Starbucks, anywhere in the world, you have good consistency with the product, very high quality product. If you ever go to a Starbucks in real life and actually look at a location, usually in the morning hours and afternoon hours, it is packed at every one that I see in the world. Demand is high and they're opening stores every day at a rapid pace. Starbucks was actually one of the first stocks that I ever bought. It was one of the first 3 that I ever bought when I started investing. Starbucks also has really good pricing power. That was shown obviously in my opinion in the last year, when they've raised prices a lot but still have grown their earnings. So that's an amazing thing that I want to see in a company that I have a core position in. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, they have good brand value and an amazing economic moat in my opinion. It's very hard to open up a coffee shop right next to Starbucks. I've been buying Starbucks throughout the years, but I really did buy heavy when it was in the 80s and even 70s last year. You can go back and look at the portfolio updates from a year ago. I was buying this company very heavy and I was very confident and, just believing in the short-term problems. I knew it was pretty underpriced, and I knew it was an amazing company that's trading at a discount, and it's nice to see when you believe in a company like that. It happened with Microsoft recently too. When you buy at these lows, then it goes up a huge lot, and you can't really buy any because it's so expensive. So, kind of nice to see your belief get some rewards. Currently in my portfolio, Starbucks is the 4th largest position by market value. I currently own 13.422 shares, so I almost have half a share drift in the 3 years that I've owned it. I own $1,438 worth of Starbucks at the moment, and I'm up overall 22% on the position, so I'm very happy about that. My cost per share is supposedly $88, even though that is higher because I transferred my stocks and they were basically counted as new ones in Ameritrade, blah, blah, blah. I think it's more closer to $80 to $75, honestly, and I'm currently getting $28 per year in dividends. Right now, what am I doing with the stock? I do think it is still a little bit pricey, and I'm not really looking to add any because I do have a sizable position already in it. But if it goes back to the 90s and even 80s, I will definitely look to add to some. Over the last 3.5 years that I've owned this stock, they've continuously rewarded me with share buybacks, dividend increases, and so much more. This is a stock I think you ideally want to be buying in times of doubt like last year. So now let's dig into the actual earnings report that caused the stock to go down 10%, and surely it's so bad, right? Q2 net revenues were up 14%, so obviously that's pretty good. Q2 comparable same-store sales are up 11% globally, up 12% in North America, and up 7% internationally. So obviously such a horrible thing going on here. They're growing their business at a pretty solid rate. They beat their EPS expectations by 5 cents. They're up 15% year over year with their Starbucks Rewards membership. Now, if you don't own Starbucks and you really haven't looked deeply into the company like I have and other shareholders and people interested in business overall, Starbucks actually uses their reward membership as a bank. People load money onto the Starbucks app, which they can't really withdraw. Starbucks can basically use that money to interest rate free and tax free essentially to make new investments, open up new stores, do whatever they want. Other companies are basically copying this now in the last 5 years. You've seen a lot of restaurants open up, rewards programs with their apps like Domino's, Tim Hortons, etc. So, surprise, surprise, they're copying Starbucks. But it is very beneficial and very positive that they're that year over year, they're up 15% on that. Global same-store sales are up 11% over last year. And growth and transactions, so obviously so much bad news here. Continuing on, they have their North American comparable same-store sales were increased by 12%, a 6% increase in comparable transactions, and a 5% increase in average ticket. China same-store sales grew 3%. They opened 464 net new stores in Q2, which is just nuts if you think about it. And they're currently closing weaker performing stores and stores with a weaker location. And they're opening stores and locations with higher demand, higher, populations, etc. And overall more safer stores. I believe a couple months ago they closed some stores in LA because they are unsafe, because a lot of people like to shoot up heroin in the bathrooms. The United States and China makes up 61% of their portfolio of stores. Obviously, the closure and, China's going on right now. It's really weird. That was a big reason their stock was down a year ago, because China was closed. Now that China's kind of permanently back open again, it's going to be obviously very positive for Starbucks, and that's a big reason that the stock is trading so high right now. Their consolidated net revenues are up 14%. GAAP operating margin improved from 12.4% to 15.2%, which is amazing to see. And they're increasing the pay of their employees while still utilizing pricing power and still having great profit on their products. So we can look at some more of the growth here. 12% change in comparable same-store sales, 6% change in transactions, 5% change in ticket. Their store count has continued to grow 3% year over year. Their revenue has grown 17% year over year. Operating income has grown 31% year over year. So just amazing to see here that their North American stores are growing, and their stores internationally in China are growing as well. Amazing news if you're a Starbucks shareholder. Even with all this positive news, the stock still sold off nearly 10%. The only real reason I could find is that they lowered guidance growth in the future from like 15 to 12%. So obviously that doesn't really warrant a 10% sell-off. I'm just kind of stealing this from Joseph Carlson, but another reason that it could be potentially selling off, people are just locking in gains. They're realizing that this company is a little overpriced for being, a coffee company trading nearly at a 30p ratio. So maybe just locking in gains from the last year. But overall, no valid reason I could find. Starbucks has been an amazing company to hold for the last 3.5 years for me, and I will definitely look to continue to add and make it a core position, keep it as a core position in my portfolio. I'm definitely not selling. I've been rewarded with some great dividend hikes over the last couple of years as well. I believe they are set to hike their dividend in October or September next. This is definitely a company that I personally understand very well, and a company that I want to be holding for the next 20 years at least. That's going to be the end of the video. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of Starbucks stock. If you think it's overpriced, if you're buying on the dip, I'd love to hear. If you want to talk with me more about dividend investing, make sure to join the Discord and talk to other like-minded investors. Links in the description. I want to thank you for making it to the end of the video. It really does mean a lot to me. And of course, do dividend stocks, not drugs. Have a good one.